The Holy Book, Sefer Kav Hayashar, Episode 20. It is related in Barachos 26b that the patriarchs established the three fixed prayers. The sages elaborate. Avraham established the morning prayer, and corresponding to this, men of the Great Assembly instituted the blessing Magen Avraham, Shield of Avraham. Yitzchak established the afternoon prayer, and corresponding to this blessing, Mechaya HaMesim, who revives the dead, was instituted. Yaakov established the evening prayer, and corresponding to this, the blessing Ha'el HaKadosh, the Holy God, was instituted. Thus, all the blessings were called after the names of the patriarchs, since they established them. It follows that every person should be careful to pray at least the Shemona Esrei with concentration. Yet, on account of the burden of the exile and the pressure that our brothers find themselves in, not everyone is learned in the deeper meanings of the prayers. Nevertheless, a person should at least enwrap himself in trembling and awe when it says the words God of Abraham, God of Yitzchak, and God of Yaakov. For the merit of the patriarchs is very great. It is their prayers that continue to sustain us in this bitter exile. It is related in the Zohar, Parshas Vayechi 225b. Rabbi Yehuda said, "How thick-headed are the people of the world, for they do not understand matters of the world." For instance, the Holy One, blessed is He, stands over every day, at all times, yet no one notices. 3 times a day a wind enters the cave of the Machpelah, the tomb of the patriarchs, and blows upon the graves of the patriarchs, compelling their bones to arise. Then the dew falls, and the patriarchs awaken. It was taught that wind descends via specific levels, one after the other, until it arrives at the lower Gan Eden. Wafting with the spices of Gan Eden, it enters the mouth of the cave, whereupon the patriarchs and the matriarchs awaken and pray for their children. It is the prophet Eliyahu who washes their hands before they pray. 3 times a day they pray for Israel, and before each prayer, Eliyahu washes their hands. From this, one can see the holiness of the hand washing before prayer. For it is the task of the prophet Eliyahu to wash the hands of the patriarchs. Likewise, every individual should see that his hands are washed by upright Jew and not by an evildoer before he goes to pray. Now let us return to the topic with which we began, which was the merit of the patriarchs in his prayers with concentration. His prayers will be cherished by the Holy One, blessed is He. In times of trouble, he should proclaim with heartfelt intent, Master of the universe, remember the covenant of the patriarchs and the matriarchs and the tribes. This presumes, of course, that he himself has not abrogated the covenant of the patriarchs, who walked wholeheartedly before the Holy One, blessed is He. This prayer is very effective when recited by the righteous and wholehearted, but not by a person who has taken the twisted path and did not conduct himself as our holy patriarchs, but rather conducts himself with arrogance and jealousy while seeking ill-gotten gains and immoral pleasures. Heaven forbid such a person is worthy of suffering shame and disgrace upon the expiration of his soul. Our forefathers used to pray, "May it be the will of Hashem, our God, and the God of our fathers, that we be prevented from sinning, so that we will neither be ashamed nor disgraced before our ancestors." Such shame makes it impossible for a person to enter the king's presence, for his soul is naked without any raiment. Thus the Zohar relates, Ibid 226b, "Come and see, woe to those who see but do not understand, nor do they realize upon what the world stands. For out of every commandment that a person fulfills, a garment of honor is fashioned for him to wear in the world to come, and he will be in the need of all of them. Furthermore, each day that he performed good deeds, garments are always fashioned. Rabbi Yehuda the elder became anxious one day regarding his portion in the world to come. He was shown in a dream a vision of his radiance, which shone the 4 directions. "What is this?" he inquired. "This is the garment you will wear when you come to reside in this world," came the reply. From that day on, he was joyful. Rabbi Yehuda said, "Every day the spirits of the righteous sit by the rows of Gan Eden, dressed in their garments, praising the Holy One, blessed is He, with highest honor." This is the meaning of the verse, "Surely the righteous will give thanks to your name. The upright will dwell in your presence." Tehillim 140.14. This is the way of the righteous, to live in constant trembling and fear, lest they be disgraced in the world to come on account of their deeds in this world. All the good deeds that they do in their eyes like a drop in the ocean against their wicked deeds. It is also the way of the righteous to be zealous for Hashem whenever they see a desecration of His name or the evil deeds of the wicked. And although it may cause them to face persecution and even death, they refuse to show the wicked a smiling countenance, but only one of displeasure, so that they will understand that their actions find no favor in their eyes. It pains them that the wicked incite Hashem's anger. In their hearts they pray that the hearts of the wicked will be transformed and inclined towards the way of awe. Thus it is the duty of all who are faithful in the service of Hashem to admonish the wicked and to be pained whenever they witness or hear the deeds of the wicked. This is explained in the Zohar, Ibid 238b to 240b. Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yitzchak were traveling together along the road. Rabbi Yehuda said, "It is written, she will not be afraid for her household on account of the snow, for her entire household is dressed in crimson." Mishlei 31.21. Our colleague, Rabbi Chizkiyahu, was explained this as follows. The punishment of the wicked in Gehenna lasts for 12 months. During half of them, he is punished with heat, while during the other half, he is punished with snow. When they enter the fire, they say, "This is surely Gehenna." But when they enter the snow, they say, "This is the cool of winter." And they rejoice, saying, "We are content, for after the judgment in fire, we have come to cool off in a cold place." What they do not realize is that the snow is a continuation of their judgment. There they suffer terrible and bitter punishments. But lest it should occur to someone that Israel will also endure punishment in the snow, for this reason it is written, "She will not be afraid for her household on account of the snow, for her entire household is dressed in crimson." Do not read dressed in crimson, shanim, but in two, shenayim. That is, they perform the commandments in pairs, circumcision and priya, the tearing of the membrane underlying the foreskin, tzitzis and tefillin, mezuzah and the Hanukkah lamp. While they were still walking, they encountered a child guiding a donkey upon which an elderly man was riding. The old man said, "My child, cite me your verse." The child responded, "One verse? I do not have only one verse. Either you should alight, or you should let me ride with you, and I will tell you." "I do not wish to equate myself with you," the old man said, "for I am an elder, and you are but a child." The child said, "If so, why did you ask me to cite you a verse?" "In order that we may travel together," he answered. "May this old man be filled with despair," said the child. "He rides although he knows nothing. And then he says that he does not wish to equate himself with me? So he parted company with the old man and set out alone. When Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yitzchak arrived, he approached them and related to them what had happened. Rabbi Yehuda told him, "You did the right thing. Come with us, and we will sit and listen to what you have to say." The child said, "I am tired, for I have not eaten anything today." They took out some food and gave it to him. A miracle occurred for them, and they found a spring under a tree and drank from it. Then the child began, "It is written, for David, do not grieve over the success of evildoers. Do not be jealous of the inquisious." Tehillim 37.1. That is, do not turn to observe the deeds of the wicked, for perhaps you will not be jealous on behalf of Hashem of hosts, and you will be punished on this account. For whoever sees the deeds of the wicked and is not jealous for the honor of the Holy One, blessed is he, transgresses 3 injunctions. 1, do not have any other gods before me. Shemos 20.3. 2, do not make for yourself an image, nor shall you bow to them. Ibid 4-5. 3, do not serve them. Ibid 5. Therefore, a person must separate from them and direct his path away from them. For this reason, I separated from the old man and directed my path away from him. And now that I have found you, I will explain another verse. So he began, and he called Vayikra to Moshe. Vayikra 1.1. The Aleph at the end of the word Vayikra is written small because this calling was not complete. Why not? Because it took place outside the land of Israel. For completion exists only within the land. Then he proceeded to reveal to them the additional insights of great depth, whereupon Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yitzchak came and kissed him on the head and said, "Blessed is the merciful one who allowed us to hear these things, and blessed is the merciful one for not allowing these things to be wasted on that old man." Then they arose and began walking. They spied a grapevine growing in a certain garden, and the child began, "He will bind his donkey foal to the vine, and the son of the donkey mare to the vine branch." Bereshis 49.11. The idea is this: the foal and the mare are 2 potent shells of impurity. In order to weaken their power, so that they will not confuse the world, the Holy One, blessed is he, formed the world with the name Yud Hey. As it is written, for with Yud Hey Hashem formed the world. Yeshaya 26.4. This is what is hinted at here, that the Holy One, blessed is he, took the name Yud Hey and included it within the word of his fowl. For the verse should have said simply fowl, ayin yud resh. But it said his fowl, ayin yud resh hey, instead to include the letter hey of the name Yud Hey within it. Similarly, the word branch should have been written Shin Vav Resh Kaf, Sorek. But instead, it is written with an extra hey at the end, Shin Vav Resh Kaf Hey, Soreka. While the word son is written with an extra yud, B'nai, Beis Nun Yud, instead of Ben, Veis Nun. The child went on to reveal to them other esoteric insights. Rabbi Yehuda said, "If we had traveled this way for nothing other than to hear these things, it would have been sufficient for us." Rabbi Yehuda then said, It would have been better for the child if he did not know so much, for I am afraid that he will not be allowed to remain in this world on this account." Rabbi Yitzchak asked, "Why not?" "Because he may glimpse at what is not permitted," he replied. "I'm afraid on his behalf that before he grows up and reaches maturity, he will contemplate and glimpse at what he should not and be punished." The child overheard him and said, "I'm not afraid of punishment at all, for when my father departed this world, he blessed me and prayed for me, and I know that my father's merit will protect me." "Who was your father?" they asked. "I am the son of Rab Hanununa, the elder," he answered, whereupon they took him and carried him upon their shoulders for 3 miles. After this, they continued walking together for a time, and then blessed him and went on their way. When they came to Rab Shimon ben Yochai, they related what had transpired. Rab Shimon said to them, "Surely the Torah comes to him by inheritance." From this passage, we can see that one should join up with Torah scholars along the road and avoid the company of the ignorant, just as the child did. Secondly, from this incident, we can learn of the great humility of Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yitzchak, for they were leaders of the generation. Yet when they heard the child was the son of Rab Hamnuna, the elder, they carried him upon their shoulders in order to listen to his Torah. Nor were they too proud to hear the Torah, even from the mouth of a child. For a man who renders himself like the dust upon which all trample is called beloved above and valued below. Moreover, he is called one of the lovers of Hashem, concerning whom it is written, "And the lovers of his name will dwell in it, in Sion." Tehillim 69.